Welcome, welcome, welcome to ICT 4005 Technical Foundations. This is week 6, cloud computing. Wow, this is it. One of the big ones. Cloud computing is really changing the ICT landscape, and we're going to learn about why. And you won't have to repeat all the suffering that many of us had to do in trying to get global access to the programs that our companies, increasingly international in scope, needed to have. Instead of populating the world with data centers, now we're populating the world with cloud data centers. And we'll talk about the drivers for that move. It's probably one of the most singularly important moves in the past 10 years in terms of the compute landscape. Right behind the internet, and it really is an outgrowth of internet connectivity for data apps. We could not have all the things that we talk about online were it not for the cloud, and in most cases. And we're going to look at that in social media and in securing that social media in weeks to come. But first thing we have to do is learn about the cloud. So this week you're going to we'll look at the overview and the objectives. I'm going to give you a little freebie on if you're interested in entering this market. I know a lot of things are going on business-wise, corporate-wise. I know Disney's gone through some layoffs. Things are still up in the air for some of you. And you may be looking around. I talked about security opportunities last week. The opportunities in cloud are as good or well, they're probably about the same in terms of how thousands and thousands of people are needed in these areas. We'll talk about what jobs are disappearing in corporate IT, and then what jobs are growing. There's never a loss of IT jobs. They just move and migrate. And if you're working in IT, you got to be able to anticipate where those moves are and make sure that your tools are sharpened and prepared to be able to excel in them. We'll look at the assignments for week 6. Nothing huge this week, just contributing to the discussion. So week 6, wow, we're more than halfway there. Cloud computing. Then we'll look at mobile, social media, blockchain, and VR, virtual and augmented reality. Some pretty interesting things there. In terms of the future of cloud computing, there are public clouds that anyone can access and software that's available for everyone to use. There are private clouds where your data applications, your crown jewels, so to speak, your sales catalogs, all those sorts of things are accessible only to people who are authenticated as users or your suppliers. And then there are hybrids, which are a mix of both public and private cloud. All of them need security, as we learned last week in the Veeam discussion. All of them need access controls and all the other happy stuff that we used to have in a data center. But now all of that interaction, for the most part, is going to be mediated, if not through a VPN, but through a web browser, a secure web browser. There are amazing amounts of IT jobs in this explosion of cloud computing. And the IT jobs in the corporate data center are really disappearing. Unless it's some app that has to be run in client-server mode, most of them are already moving to the cloud, and those that are not, their competitors are, and it's getting a little bit hot in the competitive space there, with the cloud being a bit easier since someone else is managing the infrastructure for you and scaling and all the sort of stuff that the CIO would be worrying about year over year. The big ones, of course, are Microsoft's Azure portfolio, and you'll be able, just as some of you who took the project management class already and were able to download Microsoft Project 2019, you can download Azure. You can download Windows Server, and you can spin up an Azure instance. You can do the same for the popular Amazon Web Services, AWS, which is its competitor. AWS and Amazon and Microsoft are going head to head. Google Cloud is making great progress as well. There are smaller cloud companies and hosting and things like that, but those are the big three. They each offer certifications in their field. Some you can learn in as little as 2 or 3 months. And then the last certification is called Cloud Plus, and that's from CompTIA, which is a vendor neutral certification. If you are completely new to cloud, it's a great place to start. CompTIA is like the freshman English courses of every university. You have to take them. They're important. You're going to use Turabian, or you're going to use the format and all that stuff in all your papers. And so this is all the vendor neutral information about cloud. And I'm particularly proud of Cloud Plus because I designed it, I created it. I thought that CompTIA needed to start working on it about 10 years ago. We did, and hundreds of thousands of people have taken it now. And it's opened the door to the more detailed. No one's going to hire you strictly on Cloud Plus, but you'll be familiar with the terms no matter where you work in a cloud company, and then to the particular applications and things like Amazon or Google or Microsoft. So these certs are all about managing cloud infrastructure, cloud security. One of the hottest jobs is being the interface between your company, the customer company, and the cloud company. I call it, I've never heard the term used, but I think it's a good one, called cloud concierge. Just like a concierge at a 5-star hotel will tell you the best places to eat, how to get a discount on this, or where to find that kind of gift if you want to buy it for someone. The cloud concierge for the hosting company, for Microsoft, for Amazon, will walk the company through, okay, how to prep for the migration of these apps to the cloud, how to transfer them, how to back them up, bringing a data backup organization. We mentioned Veeam last week, bringing whoever that is into the discussion, getting a disaster recovery plan, etc. All those kinds of things. And the companies who are moving to the cloud, they're nervous. That's all their many of their crown jewels, not clown jewels, but their most important data assets, and they want to be safe, and they want a single point of contact to walk them through, and it's the ability to speak technical details in very business-oriented conversation. And I think that's a skill that you will always be in demand for. You can understand technologies like we're talking about in ICT 4005, but be able to explain them clearly to the business types, the people who pay the bills in your organization. You'll always have work. So cloud computing futures, we'll talk a little bit about that. Week 6 overview, learning objectives, activities, all structured around cloud. Good readings there, so make sure you dive into those. And jump on the assignments. You've got something that says, what is cloud computing? And pros and cons of cloud computing. It's not really whether you're going to go to cloud, it's how you get there, what you're deploying to the cloud, what your cloud strategy is, and what your business goals are in terms of how to get there. A lot of good reading, and so dig in. If you have any questions specifically about cloud certifications, you can always ping me. We had some good discussions last week about the security market. Looking forward to helping you in any way that I can. Because there's no big paper, we won't have Zoom room this week, but next week we will, because week 7 we have not only social media, but the security of social media. Wow, what a topic. If you think about what happened in 2016's election and some of the things that are going on in the 2020 election, the security, the influence, the possible biases of social media in influencing a U.S. election are top of mind for the voting public. and no better time to think about those. It'll give you something to help you not fall asleep for the rest of the term. Anyway, have a great week 6. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.